Три ключові слова, які тут є: уроки біомедицини, нанотехнології і штучний інтелект. Це дуже важливі на даний час.
Three main words are here. Lessons on microbiology, nanotechnologies, and security are very important in our days.
У нас є відповідні наукові школи, і от професор Бадянський представляє школу штучного інтелекту.
We have certain scientific schools, and Professor Badansky represents one of them.
Я бажаю успіхів цій школі, і я надіюсь, що буде дуже цікаві обговорення, і вона переросте, я надіюсь, в традиційну школу.
I wish a good success to all participants of this school, and I hope that this school will be traditional in our scientific work.
Ми з шановним професором обговорювали зараз, ще якби додати четверте ключове слово кібербезпека, було б дуже актуально.
And as we discussed right now with the professor, so if we will add one more word, cybersecurity, so this conference will be more welcomed in our university.
Так що бажаю успіхів.
So good success.
I will not start with the welcome. This is the second slide. I will start with the COVID safety measures. As you have already faced that we ask you whether you are vaccinated or we ask you to undergo a test. Just in brief, you all know what an incidence is. Meanwhile, we had to learn it in the last year. And these are two incidence curves for Ukraine and for Germany. And as you see, we are kind of similar. So there is two peaks in last year, or no, this was beginning of the year, sorry. Germany started a bit earlier here with the first wave. And I can personally say that I was in the experimental group in March here, so I suffered COVID by myself. I was among the first. My wife is a physician. She vaccinated more than 1,000 persons. One of my startups does PCR tests, and we are also developing vaccines in my department. I'm not talking about this today. So I think I know a bit what I'm talking about, and therefore we are taking measures here, especially since the rector allowed us to do this school. I learned that in the moment you switched to online lectures already because of the yellow stage situation. This is potentially due to this peak here, and hopefully, I wish really that during the next 2 weeks of the two schools in Kharkiv and in Kyiv, we see the same what we see in Germany. It's this one here, decreasing incidences again. And since we have this situation, we ask you, if you feel sick, don't come. Sick means if you have any COVID symptoms, please stay at home. If you are coughing, if you have fever or so, we ask you for vaccination. That means we may control also later your certificates. We have asked you to undergo a test. If you are vaccinated and you want to do a test, we have sufficient of these quick tests. We brought 250 quick tests, which I bought from our budget. So we can test you if you want, even if you are vaccinated, of course. It's not a problem. We ask you to wear masks. We provide you with masks if you want. We provide the lecturers with FFP2 masks if they want. And I think in these little bags there were also giveaway blue masks from our university. Please also consider the general rules of hygiene, means wash hands, if you are sneezing or coughing, don't remove your mask for this, like, yeah, but either you do it in the mask or like this. And also try to distance a little bit. I have already not kept to this rule by handshaking, but of course, there is maybe exemptions. So now I come to one point here. Oops. Still, hopefully think positive. And therefore I start now to welcome you for lessons for biomedicine learned from nanotechnology and AI. So we have these two successive schools in Kharkiv and, oh, I have to remove this because otherwise I can't see. We have these two successive schools in Kharkiv this week and in Kyiv next week. And in between there's an online day. You are invited to participate in this online day. We also call it Soft Skills Day. You see on the program, which you can always, as in an updated format, see in Wildau. So you should download this app. There was a lot of effort to install all these matters and use digitalization for our school. Thanks to Alina and Anna and the team I will introduce in a minute. So make use of this and participate. I'm from the Technical University of Applied Sciences, which I will introduce later. And of course, the university here you know very well. And in Kyiv, it's the Shevchenko University, National University, which we are collaborating with. So we have a very nice coincidence of 30 years anniversary. So I learned a while ago that you are celebrating this year 30 years of independence of Ukraine after, being part of the Soviet Union. Actually, I'm not sure how the day is called of August 24. I was told that I should not say Independence Day. I should say something more like Re-establishment Day. And when I was thinking about how to call this, I just came to the word resurrection. And since I'm not sure whether everybody knows in English the words resurrection, because I like it much more than re-establishment, in Ukrainian is voskresenia. So the coincidence is that you are celebrating this year 30 years Ukraine, and we are celebrating 30 years University of Applied Sciences in Wildau. And I bring you greetings from our president in our university. It's called president, not rector. We have a female professor, Professor Dr. Ulrike Tippe, and she sends greetings and hopes that everything works out well, and especially that everybody stays healthy during the school. Therefore, we undertook these measures here. And we celebrated last week. And on this day here, we made this photo here, where we hoisted the Ukrainian flag in front of the university. I have to say, I had a little discussion with our president about this, but I asked the chancellor, and the chancellor gave his okay. Nevertheless, she liked it, or we all liked this idea. And so I think this is already a very nice coincidence. And also there's another coincidence. We have 2 times 30 participants in the school, which was a little bit extended from the original 25. Maybe not all will show up. So it seems like 30 will be the number of luck. So I want to introduce the people who made this possible. I have to say, I'm only the head. I do not know so much about nanotechnology and about artificial intelligence like other people in the team. And I would like to honor those people who made this possible here. And this is primarily from in the German team. And if I say teams, they are not playing against each other, hopefully. So this is for the AI side. It's Professor Dr. Alina Nechiporenko sitting here in front. Please quickly stand up. Maybe not everybody has seen you. And for the nano side, it's Dr. Anna Grebenik over there. And of course, they speak Ukrainian, they are Ukrainian. Nevertheless, they are in the German team because they are in my department as scientific staff. So they moved a while ago to Germany. They will tell all these issues about their science and about how they came to Germany, which experiences they made there. They will tell you later. But I have to say, I'm really more than happy that they are in the team. And in a way, the ideas for the school came from them. I think Anna started with the school and asked me, could we have a school paid by the German Academic Exchange Service in nanotechnology or nanobiotechnology? And then I said, yeah, maybe you talk to Alina, how to organize it. And then we came up with, we have two subjects because she is representing the computer science field. And then I said, well, why don't merge the two subjects? We can bring them together and then find a fancy title, Lessons for Biomedicine Learned from these two subjects. So they have, of course, support. So this is our German ground control. This is Alina's daughter, Valeria. She's 18. And Gabriela is a student in my department working together with Alina. So they set up some of the IT resources. And I should say, we pay these two here to do the work. We are not paid at all for what we do here. I just mentioned, so you cannot earn money with organizing a school. You can maybe earn honor or stress, but not money, but we pay them here. And then we have, of course, the local organizers, and primarily here in the moment, it's Igor Grebenik, Professor Igor Grebenik, here in the front. We met several times via some online meeting, but 2 days ago I was very happy to meet him in person, and his wife, Ina. You have met her downstairs, and she is ground control here in the moment and welcomes the late participants. Then on the Kyiv side, we have Professor Prilutsky and his wife, Dr. Prilutska. They are from the nanotechnology side. And also, I'm very happy that we have a team here supporting all issues here and in the background. Now you have to stop talking there, because I'm talking about you. Because you have to stand up now. So we have Nadia and Svitlana, and I'm very happy that you are supporting us. Thanks a lot for organizing a lot of things here. I cannot go into the details, and being ground control here. And In Kyiv, it's Oksana and Irina. So, but I have to say we have, of course, an extended team. And this is consisting of all these lecturers here from Germany and all these lecturers here from Ukraine. These are our assistants here. And I'm more than happy that we could really motivate so many persons for this interesting subject to bring it to you. And I want to point out two issues here in particular. So, first is you don't see any titles anymore here. So no professors, no doctor titles, no PhDs. Also, you see that on these badges here, we left out the titles. It's not a matter of we do not have enough space. It's a matter that it's very clear that among this group over there, everybody has whatever title, professor, doctor, it doesn't matter so much. It's about science. And in international science conferences, it's kind of very common that you do not really use these titles. And this is also because most of the auditory, as you are young scientists, you do not have a PhD in the moment or a doctor title or whatever title. And so we try to be a little bit on the same level when we are teaching, and hopefully we can also learn something from you during this week. And as you see here, you are part of the extended team. So this is all people here in participating in Kharkiv and in Kyiv. And since you are part of the team, we also expect your active participation. So we already sent you ideas what you should in very small talks or speeches present during this morning, like I think it was 3-minute talk or 5-minute talks. And then we have also something which is called Science at the Bar. We will introduce a little bit later. So please actively participate. That would be nice. Make yourself part of the team. What is greetings? Oh, actually, now I wanted to ask some people for bringing in some greetings, but we have changed the program a little bit. Now would be the part of the rector. We had this already. So I already said a little bit from the idea to the program. So means the idea, I already explained a bit how we came up with this idea to organize the school. And of course, the idea is that it should not end on Saturday or next week on Friday. Hopefully we can continue a cooperation, a collaboration. Maybe some of you get the idea to continue their career in Germany. This is also an idea. I go a bit more into the details with this slide here. As I said, Anna contributed with the nanotech part, and Alina contributed with the AI part. And well, I'm more from biomedicine. My background is in genomics. I was working 12 years at the German Cancer Research Center. I would call myself not really a biologist anymore. I'm more, how to say, generalist or so, but I will tell you later if there is some time. So I added this part of biomedicine here, and then we applied at the German Academic Exchange Service here. They have a special program which is called Summer Schools Abroad program. Well, we are not in summer anymore, unfortunately. Originally, we wanted to organize this school here in July, but when we had to decide whether to do this, I think it was April, right? And if you remember these peak curves I showed in the very beginning, April was not something you would think about organizing something here or in Germany, not at all. So we had to postpone, so we made a plan with different alternatives. We couldn't postpone to the next year. We had also plan C, so this is plan B here. We had a plan C for November, which is by far not a summer school anymore. And so we called it Autumn School. And we applied and received the grant. And part of the summer school is, of course, a lot of science talks and workshops. In a few minutes, and Alina will introduce this a little bit. I just want to introduce a little bit what is the general idea of such a school and what are some parts of our program. So the German Academic Exchange Service is an organization in Germany to support science and especially scientific exchange. And with the summer school program, they have several goals, which are listed here on the left side. So this is the first goal is attracting qualified student or young scientists. And I have to say, this is a little bit problematic because it also kind of fosters a brain drain. But of course, the idea is always that you return to the home country. So one idea is exchange, scientific exchange, attract people to Germany to do part of their education there, and then they go back to their home country, Ukraine, and then they use the knowledge and hopefully they got a good idea about Germany. So this is the first goal here. Then, of course, training in current research area. We are pretty much fostering current research areas with these two buzzwords, AI and nanotechnology. Then it should be a technical and a cultural exchange. So technical, it's all about science. Cultural, I will say in a few minutes what means cultural potentially. You should get a bit of insight into our system in Germany of education and research. This is something partly I will do by myself with a lecture. Some of you may have already participated. I gave a lecture here already online some months ago where I spoke about our research and education system in Germany. And of course, the idea of the program is also that we present the German universities in order to communicate, in order to cooperate, and this is what we call internationalization. And therefore, we ask all lecturers, as before they start their scientific talk or workshop, that they should talk about, short in brief, about their home institution or home university. So, as I said, science is the matter of Anna and Alina. I will not say about this part of the program, which is a bigger part. I'm telling a little bit more about the fun and party part here on the right. To fulfill some of these points here and, of course, to have some fun with you, to foster networking, of course. So, we have welcome and farewell parties. One is today. We have today a how did we call this? Not welcome party? Get-together party. Yeah. So the get-together party today is in a hotel. You find it in Wildau. There will be a bus transfer. This morning I recognized there is a wrong time given. We hopefully have changed this already. So the bus will leave here short before 7 o'clock after. This is also part of the cultural program after Alina gave a piano concert of maybe 20 minutes or so. Then we have some party, some drinks, some snacks. So the idea is primarily not drinking, but networking. But with a drink, it works better, you know. So then we have a part which is called like Germany's Best. Means we have a session where lecture. And now I forgot one point. didn't tell me. When I said about our lecturers here, I said I will mention 2 points, and I forgot the second point. If you go through this list here, you see a lot of names which are not German. There is, of course, some Ukrainian names, but there is also some names of people from here, Greece, or so this guy here, for example, he moved to Germany when it was the Soviet Union times, and this guy here is from Uzbekistan, and someone is from Kazakhstan or so, but still kind of very connected. And to say those people are also asked to say what is Germany's best from their point of view. I will give a very short speech about German sports clubs, because I think we have a very nice system to support sports. We will talk about education and research. This is my part. We have to talk about the German Academic Exchange Service, so they will give an intro about their programs. Later, we have materials here, which we will put somewhere, not here in this room, in the other room, to take away. Then I have to say, since yesterday, I'm a member of the German-Ukrainian Academic Society, and they are also supporting us, and I think you will introduce this society a bit in a few minutes, and people from abroad will say something about their experiences. Then we have this soft skills day on Saturday, where Victoria Sokolova will give a big presentation training. We have a lecture about open science, about grant writing, and especially maybe interesting for the younger people about how mobility can be financed. That means how you can get money to travel. Scientific travel, of course. And then we have science at the bar. So one idea is, it was formerly called Science at a Glance, because we could not so clearly tell the DAAD that we go to bars. So the idea is that you give short presentations about a subject. I think we are going to organize some prizes for those people who are presenting. And the idea behind is to learn a bit about edutainment. That means you have to tell the public, the taxpayer, about your science in words that those people who did not pass an academic education, that those people can understand it. And this is the idea here of science at the bar. And of course, it's also about drinking and networking. Yeah, more drinks and networking. So, now, I hand over to Alina and Anna, first to introduce themselves. Me. Oh, I saw her. Ah, Igor. Well, this was the part. Greetings.
Yes, greetings.
Ah, sorry. Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much. I would like to make a very short speech. It is a great honor to be an organizer of that event. And I would like to inform you that all the preparations regarding the scientific, educational, and culture program are finalized. And I think that the program will be interesting for you. The first part, the introduction, opening ceremony, is organized in Scientific Park Synergy. This is here. From this afternoon, all the lectures and workshops till to the end of the school will be organized in a novel laboratory of digital technologies. This is a laboratory of systems engineering department of our university, and the laboratory is equipped with financial support of European Union Erasmus Plus project DCOMFRA, and support of our university. And we are ready to start. I wish you good studying, good communication, and maybe good using all the result in your professional activity and in your future life. Welcome our school. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So it's my turn now.
Yes, please say a bit about yourself and introduce a bit the scientific program.
So, dear all, it's nice to see all of you today, and it's really a great pleasure. It's double pleasure because it's my alma mater. I was studying here biomedical engineering for some time ago, and so actually, I was dreaming to become a medical doctor some years ago, and for that time it was impossible, and it turned out that I connected my life with biomedical engineering and then later with computer science and artificial intelligence. And now, how no one else, I know what means computer science and artificial intelligence for physicians, for medical doctors. Which role plays these technical aspects, this computational, mathematical modeling, and etc., in terms of facilitating diary routine for physicians and as providing with some tools, frameworks, and medical technical systems for physicians to help them with decision-making process and with some diagnostic aspects and treatments. And this is really crucial, but not too easy. And one of the main aspects is collaboration, because for more than 10 years, I was working with physicians really closely, and it was plenty of problems in terms of understanding each other. And it's really important to understand what medical doctor means, because he or she using medical terminology, and engineers use their technical terminology, and it's really not too easy understand each other. For this, we should provide not only some technical support, but also communication support. And biomedical engineering is a nice example how to deal with this. And what about artificial intelligence? For recent decade, it was tremendously developed in terms of implementation variety of tools and methods from machine learning side and deep learning in order to provide medical doctors with some facilities and some new outcomes in their practice. So our scientific program organized like gathering together topics about data, for example, principles, and then machine learning and deep learning for medical data processing. And now all of you know that there are a variety of medical data. All of them are heterogeneous, for example, medical images and medical or biomedical signals like electrocardiography, photoplethysmography, or spirography, so plenty, and all of them are required some input from computer scientists. And actually, many of artificial intelligence or machine learning methods are based on classical mathematical approaches. And computer scientists are aware of that. Again, that is really important to explain and interpret the meaning and other aspects, how it works, why do we have such an outcome for medical doctors. That is one more additional aspect. What else? So one of the idea to give you and bring the expertise of German lectures with cutting-edge outcome and results, and their deep learning and machine learning with cutting-edge outcome and results, and their deep learning and machine learning scientific work in order to show how it can be further developed in terms of obtaining, but also cultural exchange. We will discuss many cultural aspects and some life aspects, some peculiarities of life in Germany, and how to deal with different kinds of things. And of course, so it's a kind of combination, scientific input from computer science side and from medical biomedicine side, of course nanotechnology, but I think Anna knows better than me about nanotechnology. And the crucial aspect here is multidisciplinarity. So the multidisciplinarity is some fundamental aspect which should be considered as a crucial and really so we cannot replace multidisciplinarity with something else, and many of our lectures and workshops will provide you with some approaches how to deal with this and how to collaborate, how to understand each other. Then, so I already mentioned data management aspects, data processing and integration aspects, then machine learning and deep learning regarding medical image processing, medical biomedical signal processing, and other medical data. And I hope all of you benefit from our program, and we'll establish some networking and we'll be able to develop the idea that got here further in your professional life, in your scientific research, and in your daily work. So, and now I think I should hand over to Anna, and she'll tell. Actually, I just forgot to mention the slogan of our school. It's, Science today, medicine tomorrow. And this school is Science today, medicine tomorrow. And this multidisciplinarity gives our the possibility to obtain some cutting-edge outcome for medicine. So biomedicine, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, this combination gives us really a scientific novelty because of multidisciplinarity. Hopefully, all of you will benefit from this and understand deeply why it's important to collaborate and to merge these two directions and different kinds of backgrounds, computer science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and from other side, nanotechnology, and what kind of opportunities. Actually, it's a room of opportunities for biomedicine, and how can physicians use the outcome of our event further in their work. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to also welcome you here to our first DAAD Ukrainian German Autumn School in Kharkiv. Our program is shaped in order to attract you, share with you that we put a lot of passion and love in shaping this program in order to bring not only German and Ukrainian scientists together, but also nanotechnology and artificial intelligence under our motto that the science of today is the medicine for tomorrow. So I'm here, the one responsible for the nano part, and as there are so many definitions what is nanotechnology is. My favorite is that is also top multidisciplinary, that it's the merge of the chemistry, physics, biology, engineering, and medicine in order to develop and study nanoparticles. If with particles it's more or less easy, with nano it's quite abstract. And for that, after the lunch, our nano nerd session will present you the definitions and main terminology of the nanotechnology. Later on, the scientific part of nanotechnology lectures and workshops include different types of nanoparticles, the application in different variety of biomedical approaches, including how to treat cancer, how to treat COVID, how to build a nanorobot, and so on. Nanotechnology at the division led by Professor Markus at the Technical University of Applied Sciences Wildau cooperates very tightly with Ukrainian partners. We mainly investigate carbon nanoparticle fluorine C60 and its very special molecular structure gave them C60 unique physicochemical properties and biological activities that we steer to kill cancer cells. So further research focuses also on lipid and polymeric nanoparticles. And today I would like also to add that the nanotechnology is not only job to me, but also it's my passion. And I'm a true believer that merging together nanotechnology and artificial intelligence, that this merging in the scientific field is already starting. We would like to contribute to this movement, and that someday, thanks to the advances in the nanotechnology boosted with artificial intelligence, we could provide a better precision medicine for better human quality of life, and the day will be where we could treat cancer, where we could prevent neurodegenerative and cardiovascular disease, and forget about diabetes, pain, and much more. Of course, all of these challenges would not be solved alone by nanotechnology and artificial intelligence. But I see the biomedicine science as a battlefield where those two fields are definitely in avant-garde. As we today with you are starting to realize one of the biggest dream of mine, a big scientific event to develop biomedical science and foster German-Ukrainian cooperation on Ukrainian soil, I think those other tasks would not be that difficult. So let us start today, let us start together. And special thanks today are going to the table hosts in Kharkiv, Professor Igor Grebennik, and Professor Dr. Valery Severis. So thank you a lot for your attention.
Thank you, Anna. You said this is the first school, so what do I have to wait? Wait.
Next week is the second.
Okay. I do not have an own scientific talk because we had many lecturers and then later more came in, and so I said, okay, I do not need to give a talk, but I of course want to introduce a little bit myself and also our school, our university, sorry. So can you please start the other talk? It's called Intro 2 or so. Please start Intro 2. Okay. So we have a coffee break, which is at 11, I think. But that is really short, and we also want you to talk during the coffee breaks. We have to change the room, so I will not talk for half an hour, I guess. I will try to limit myself that we extend the coffee break a little bit. That means my talk is subdivided. The second part, which potentially is about individual projects, because you will hear a lot of science. So I just start, and as you see, it's without title. I'm just telling you a little bit about Wildau and about myself. So this is the logo of our university, and I chose the old one because it indicates something particular. Here, this FH. We do not use this anymore. The new logo is without the FH in brackets. It means Fachhochschule. We have two types of universities, the regular ones and the universities of applied sciences. Those were former engineering schools in this. And for example, they, in most cases, do not award PhD titles. I have a lot of PhD students, but I always cooperate with regular universities for the awarding of the titles. In the last, let's say, 10, 15 years or so, the universities of applied sciences became much more academic, and the regular universities became much more applied. So they are pretty much moving towards together and kind of merging. There are some more peculiarities. I don't go into the detail. So, question is, where is Wildau? It's almost precisely 1,600 kilometers here from Kharkiv. And we have a very famous suburb in Wildau, which is called Berlin. And here is Wildau. So Wildau is actually I would say it's a city, but I would call it more a village. It has approximately 10,000 inhabitants. The university, as will be on one of the later slides, has 4,000 students. And it's not part of Berlin. So Berlin here is surrounded by the federal state of Brandenburg. Some people would say county or so. Federal state of Brandenburg, and Wildau is a university in Brandenburg. Closely connected, of course. So a few words about myself. Now you know, you can calculate how old I am. I am a biologist. I studied at the University of Heidelberg, which is in the southwestern part. This is a very famous university, and it is the oldest university on German ground. It's not the oldest German university, because the oldest German university is in Prague, surprisingly. So a very famous or very traditional alma mater. I finished there in '95. Then I started at the German Cancer Research Center, also in Heidelberg. until 2007. I was first a PhD student, then a scientist at the Division of Functional Genomics. I did there my PhD, but I didn't do, I would say, regular PhD. I did a so-called Dr. SC Hum, which is Scientia Humanarum, which indicates I did the PhD at the medical faculty, but I'm not a physician. I'm not a medical doctor. In 2002, when I was a PhD student, I already became vice head of the division, which was at that time a division with more or less 50 persons or so, quite big. Then I had a short, I wouldn't say break, I would say intro. In Germany, it's very rare that you get permanent positions. I guess later we will hear a little bit about this. I don't know whether you are talking about this or you are talking about this. So having a permanent position in Germany is very a privilege. So I, as a professor, have a permanent position meanwhile, but I didn't start on a permanent position as a professor. So since I didn't see a lot of perspective in science, I started a career as a teacher in the school in biotechnology and bioinformatics. And then came the, how's this called, appointment or appellation as a professor for molecular biology at the Technical University of Wildau in 2007. And since 2014, I was awarded for 5 years and then a second time for 5 years a professor for a research professor. This is a kind of particular title which gives me some privileges of not teaching so much but having more time for research, for example. So this is a little bit my biography. There's some other points I want to tell you also, especially to the students. So I was student member of the faculty council for quite a while. And then later I continued with being representative. So I was chair of the ethics commission. I founded it. Meanwhile, Anna is chair of the ethics commission in our university. And I also was a professor, member of the faculty council. And this is a bit the message to you. Just take part in such representative activities. You can hopefully, well, try universities. So German universities, I said already, where the director is called president in most cases, not in all. And this is the executive organ of the university. And then there is the legislative organ. And this is the Senate. And this is also the controlling body for the directorate. So I'm the one who controls the president. Well, not me, but the Senate. So I was founder of the division Molecular Biotechnology and Functional Genomics in 2007 when I became a professor there. And I am founder or co-founder of 3 startups. I will say a few words later, Organised, Biomes and Kyiv. This is a bit special. We are at universities of applied sciences, of course, fostering applied science. And one way to do this is company foundations. Well, the big private issues. This is one of my favorite hobbies, diving here. Actually, this was a scientific dive in archaeology. This here represents a bit my work. I mean, of course, you see here I'm preparing caipirinhas. But I use this slide here. It was taken at one of our parties at the German Cancer Research Center. I use this slide in my molecular biology lecture to explain a little bit. So, because it could also be used to explain DNA extraction, industrial area here, and what is now surrounded here with